Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome. We thank you for joining us here on this Friday afternoon here in San Jose, California, inside the SAP Center, the site for tomorrow night's Bellator 172, featuring the return, the Bellator debut of Fedor Emelianenko. That happens tomorrow. Weigh-ins happen at 5 o'clock. That's a short time from now. But first things first, we officially welcome you a press conference to announce the main event coming up for Bellator 178 happening later this year. For those joining us on the live stream, we welcome you as well to the SAP Center here in San Jose. Today's weigh-ins and the press conference both streaming live on Bellator MMA's official YouTube channel. We thank you for joining us, and we will be attempting to take your questions off of our online audience for today's press conference as well, so stand by for that. As we kick off the press conference to announce the main event for Bellator 178, let's do it this way. If you'll draw your attention now to the two video screens for this introduction, and then we'll move on from there. And for those that may have had audio problems, we'll run that video piece again. But let's do it right now. For the press conference, let's introduce the two fighters. And, of course, the man that heads up Bellator MMA. Introducing first our two competitors in the main event for Bellator 178, happening, as you can see, April 21st, Mohegan Sun Arena. Tickets will go on sale, by the way, a week from today, February 24th. Mohegan Sun box office, Bellator.com, Ticketmaster online. Let's introduce the two fighters in the main event. First, in the featherweight title fight, the challenger will be the former Bellator featherweight world champion. Please welcome Patricio Pitbull. And his opponent, the defending champion, the reigning champion, the two-time Bellator featherweight world titleist. Would you please welcome the reigning featherweight title holder, Mr. Daniel Strauss. And of course, we welcome to the stage President of Bellator MMA, Mr. Scott Coker. And again, for those members of the press that are joining us, we'll open it up for questions after opening remarks. And with those opening remarks, we turn it over to you, Mr. Scott Coker.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate you guys coming out this afternoon before the weigh-ins. You know, when I watched this fight, the third fight in person, and honestly, it was one of the most exciting fights I've ever seen in my life. And I know that we're going to have fireworks on April 21st at the Mohegan Sun, and these two guys are going to bring it. And after I saw the fight, I rewatched the first and second fight, and they were just spectacular. So if you guys want to see a knockout, drag-out main event, this is it. And I just urge everybody to tune in on Spike TV or come to the Mohegan Sun and check it out live.
Gentlemen, we'll open up for opening comments, please, to both of our fighters. We'll have the challenger go first, saving the champion for last. Opening comments. Patricio, if you'd like to say anything.
It's a great opportunity here. I know Strauss is the champ now, but you will cover my belt.
For me, I appreciate everybody for coming, and it's good to be back. Definitely good to be back fighting again, and yeah, you know, fighting Pitbull again. It's like he said, gonna be a knockout, drag-out fight. They always are. A very formidable opponent, and you know, I do what I always do: come to beat somebody's ass.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Our first question will come from our audience here at the SAP Center. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question, and honestly, it comes to timing. You know, keeping our guys, some of our other guys are fighting. Daniel just came back; he wants to fight now. And Pitbull, we made Pitbull a promise. We said, look, you know, go out there, you know, win a couple fights after he lost, which he did with Henry Corrales, and then he got hurt in the fight with Benson Henderson, but he was above his weight class. But I thought he was looking really good up to that point, and we said, you know what, when he finally comes back, meaning Strauss. Then we should give Pitbull a shot, and that's what we did. So, and believe me, this is one of the stacked divisions that we have, and all those guys will get a chance, you know, after these two guys fight. But I think this is a fight that we all want to see.
Not at all. Not at all. I wasn't trying to put it off. I mean, he's been there ever since I started at Bellator. He's been one of the guys I've been watching since I've been in Bellator. The first night that I fought for Bellator, he fought that night. So he's not going to go anywhere, you know what I mean? And, you know, our second fight was, you know, everybody seen how it went down. You know, I got choked out at the end of the fourth. I believe I was winning that fight, and going into our third fight, he didn't bitch about it. He gave me my opportunity, shrugged his shoulders, went in there and fought like a man. So same thing's going on, you know. I don't have no grief about who I'm fighting as long as I'm fighting. So, you know, like I said, he's a very formidable opponent, tough guy. I got a lot of respect for him, but, you know, it's just this is the nature of the business. So I've been looking forward for this opportunity since I stepped out of the cage with him, and I'm very excited for it.
Technical difficulties. Sorry, guys.
Y'all go buy my mixtape.
I don't know.
Can you hear me? Excuse me. But yeah, man. Like again, like I said, he's been one of those guys that's been there. So, you know, he gave me the opportunity to get back in with him. I have no grief about getting back in with him. So, you know, it's just one of those fights. He brings the best out of me, just like some other guys, and you know, I think I do the same with him. And you know, when it comes down to it, it's fight time. You know, I've never been one to be in here and pick contestants. And no, I don't want that fight. You shoot me a contract, I'm signing it. His name happened to be on that contract. Signed it.
Try it. All right. And just quickly for Patricio, you had beaten him twice before, so I just wonder, you know, what went wrong in that third fight? What went different? Do you think it was something that he did well or something that you did wrong? What do you have to change this time around?
He was better in that day, but we are in a different day. You know, that's it.
Any other questions? Michael?
All right, gentlemen, thank you for your questions in-house. We'll have more questions in-house in just a moment. A question from our online viewing audience, Daniel, for you. It's been about a year, or just over a year actually, since you've been inside the Bellator cage. Can you give us an update on your status? According to the question, I believe it was an injury. It was. Maybe you could update us on how you're feeling and how the injury is coming along.
It's been a battle. It's been up and down. I've had it wasn't just the hand. You know, the hand broke, but it did a lot to me. At one point, I didn't even know if I'd fight. You know, but at the same time, it put me on the. Oh man, I can't even explain. It just I've been through so many ups and downs in the past year and a half, and rehab was a bitch. My personal life was a bitch. Not being able to fight, all that sucked. And then finally getting back into it, it just focused me. You know, the whole time I was out, I was working. I was still training. So the outlook was kind of bleak, but now it's here. So, I mean, that's all I've been wanting to do. Anybody that know me, anybody that's sitting here that see me fight, know all I need to do is just get to the cage. That's all I need to do.
Daniel, you mentioned the long layoff and the injury and coming back from that, and now you've got, you know, obviously a few more months to go before this fight happens. How does that affect your camp when you prepare for a fight like this? Obviously somebody you're familiar with, but the long layoff, all that stuff, the rehab, coming back from injury. I mean, how do you approach?
I've been in camp since September.
Since September?
I don't want to hear nothing about a camp. I'm always in camp.
Okay.
Again, a question from our online audience. Patricio, to you, you had a successful run with the title belt before losing it to Daniel Strauss. Can you talk a little bit about what it means to you to get that title back? And can you also talk a little bit about your last fight with Daniel and what you might do differently in this fight? Going to give him a second for a translation, if you would.
Foi uma luta dura, ele estava muito bem preparado e eu não consegui dar meu melhor naquele dia. E essa luta vai ser diferente, I'll finish him in the first round. Promise you guys.
It was a tough fight. I wasn't able to be my best that night. He was, but this next fight I will finish him in the first round. I promise you.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Any other questions? Last call for questions here at the SAP Center. Anyone in attendance? And if we have no further questions, we'd like to ask our two well, actually, let's first ask Mr. Coker if he has any closing remarks.
No, I would just like to say, you know, good luck to both contestants. We've been waiting a long time for this fight, and excited to have it on April 21st.
If you haven't seen the first three fights, see them online now before fight number 4 takes place April 21st. Let's have our two fighters, if you would please, square off at the center of the stage. A photo op, gentlemen, for you in attendance. And for those online, here are your two fighters. Set Bellator 178 coming up April 21st. Tickets on sale 1 week from today, February 24th, at Mohegan Sun box office if you're in the area. Ticketmaster.com or Bellator.com. Strauss, Pitbull 4. And ladies and gentlemen, once again, there are your two fighters in the main event. Former champion Patricio Pitbull going again for the title held now by the two-time reigning champion Daniel Strauss. April 21st, Bellator 178. Tickets again on sale 1 week from today, February 24th. Again, we thank you for joining us. Official weigh-ins for tomorrow night's Bellator 172 take place at 5 o'clock. If you want, please stick around for that. And again, tomorrow night, live on Spike, the Bellator debut of Fedor Emelianenko against Matt Mitrione on the scales coming up 5 o'clock. Again, we thank you for joining us at the official press conference for the main event, Bellator 178.